Is it possible to combine hard gel and polygel within one set? Absolutely. In this video, I will guide you through all the steps. Coming up. Hello guys, Anastasia here. These are the nails we're going to work on today. As you can see, most of them are broken due to a very thin layer of the product and missing apex. We have some nails left, and by the way, these two are natural nails, but since they're curving too much, I don't see any reasons to keep them, so we're going just to take off all the product and create a new extension. I started with a carbide bit with a green band, but ended up realizing that it is not strong enough, and then I switched to the one with a black mark, which is coarse, because even though the apex was missing, overall product application is rather thick, so there's a lot to file off, and I'm about to do it now. And these were gel nails, by the way, with the gel polish on top. So I'm going to file them all off, and while I was filing, surprisingly, I didn't see any product lifting, which means that this nail technician had a very good skill in product application. She simply didn't build apex high enough to make these nails long-lasting. Actually, there was some lifting on one nail. Let's try seeing it in a slow motion, and well, no, nothing special. Oh well. Then I'm going to file the nails short, and I also wanted to show you how to deal with this kind of cuticle. It is spreading type of cuticle, and it's basically glued to the nail plate. So there's no way we can push it back, whether using pusher or orange wood stick, without hurting the client. That's why I will be using this kind of ceramic bit, which is rather soft. And what I'm doing, I'm working on the cuticle with this, and I'm pushing it up, and the one that was spreading across the nail plate is buffing off, if it makes sense. So to me, this is one of the most effective ways to push it up. You can do it only on the forward mode in one direction, or you can switch to the reverse mode and work on the opposite side. And after that, there are two options. You can trim the cuticles with any implement of your choice, scissors, nippers, or you can continue working with the e-file. But since this client has a rather sensitive skin, I decided to do it with the scissors and trim the cuticles. Alright, we are done here. Take a look at these beautiful clean nail plates, and now let's do the extensions. I will be using Cosmo Profi products, starting with the primer, which is non-acid primer, base gel, and I will also use acrylic gel or polygel pink color, as well as hard gel. And do not worry that the color is a bit different, it will not be a problem. So I already fit the form, applied dehydrator and non-acid primer on the entire surface of the nail, and then I'm going to apply a thin layer of the base coat. It is very important, do not apply too much and do not touch the skin. You can apply it on all 5 nails at once and then cure them in LED for 30 seconds, and you do not have to take off the sticky layer. But if you accidentally touch the nail or something like that, you can. It will work both ways. Then I'm applying polygel, and I'm going to create the free edge first. If you're the type of person who is struggling with creating shape with the hard gel because it's too runny, then maybe this method will work for you. The goal is to create length and shape that your client desires, but you do not have to do it very thick at the moment because this is basically a tip. We are sculpting the tip at this point with our own hands. So make sure it's even, it's symmetrical. If you see that some part of the product is missing or it's too thick, it is better to fix it right now. I'm using 70% alcohol with the brush once I feel that the product is sticking. But by the way, this particular product, Cosmoprofi, is not sticking that much. I will leave all the links down below so you can easily find all these products. Now, looks like it's all good and we can cure it. First, I freeze cure it for like 12 seconds and then slightly pinch it. But this time really depends on your style of application and on the lamp. So my lamp is very powerful. It's 56 watt. So if yours is lower, then you probably should wait a little longer. Let's keep going. So when you're working with this method, I recommend to always work on both hands, meaning once you apply the product on, let's say, thumb of the right hand, while it's curing, you're doing application on the opposite hand. So every time you're doing something, the one hand is in the lamp curing, while the opposite one is the one you're working on. Also, I recommend to invest some time into this part because this is actually the most important one. So make sure that the product is even, the shape is symmetrical, and the length matches with the opposite hand. The better you will do the application at this point, the less you will have to file. Now cure it for 1 minute in LED and we can carefully take off the forms. Or you can leave them actually, just in case you're not feeling secure about it, but it's totally fine to do it at this point. Now I'm switching to the hard gel by the same brand, Cosmoprofi. And yes, the color is slightly different, but we will not see it since we're going to cover it all. So I applied a thin layer of the hard gel and did not cure it. This is so-called a slippery layer that will help us to apply the product better. And then I simply take the gel and create the structure. Do not forget that the thickest point should be in the center, where the apex is, while the cuticle area, sidewalls, and free edge should be slightly thinner. Once you're done, cure in LED and continue working on the opposite hand. By the way, after applying polygel, what you also can do is take off the sticky layer and slightly file and shape the nails, so that way you will have to file less. But this time, today, I was too lazy to do that, and also I thought, well, my application is already pretty good, I guess. So I decided to shape them a little bit only at the end. Just wanted to let you know that this is an option too. Cure for 1 minute in LED and we're done with the application. So what do you think, guys? I'm pretty happy with these elements that we created. Now we are going to take off the sticky layer, and it's quite important so you will not rub it back into the client's skin. Because if you happen to have a client who's very sensitive and allergic like to everything, then you may see an allergic reactions like the next day. I'm going to use a 180 file and slightly shape the nails. Just make sure that the shape is even, that it's symmetrical, and then I'm going to use a 220 grit buffer to buff the surface because I'm going to add some nail art on top, and it's so much easier and better to do it when you have a buffed surface. At this point, I ask a client to wash her hands, and now let's do the design. I'm going to use Cosmoprofi gel polishes as well. White, green, neon orange, and black. So these are gel polishes, not gel paints, but they're so intense, so they work pretty good for nail art, and you do not really need to add a second layer. I do not know what kind of design is that. I guess it's just abstract. I've seen some similar style on Pinterest and we just decided to recreate it. I simply add some lines on one nail and then cure it. While it's curing, I'm working on the opposite hand, so this is very similar to the application technique that we did. And by the way, let me guys know how would you name this design, because I cannot come up with something exciting other than just abstract design. Fully cure it for 1 minute in LED, and we decided to seal it with a matte top coat because, I don't know, I just think for this style it looks kind of cool, but probably glossy will be good too. This is the result. Let me guys know what do you think, and do you use combination of products in your work? Please share in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If this is your first time here on my channel, consider subscribing as I post new nail art tutorials just like this one every week. And I will see you in my next one. Goodbye!